Woohoo, welcome back to the channel. Look what's arrived. So I've got one stator, one regulator, and you can just see them up there. Look at that, one gasket seal. This has come all the way from America in less than a week, which is not too bad. So let's get that off. Okay, there's all the bolts out. I've also moved this clip up, it's quite rusted. That's the cable there. So that leads to that socket there, which I'll need to disconnect. There we go. Someone's put grease in there, which is probably not a bad idea, but you know. Now there are several reports that getting this bugger off is hard, and I'd like to confirm that is the case. I'm going to have to use some gentle persuaders, I think. Woohoo! With a little gentle persuasion, this monster came off. A little bit of oil left, but yeah, there it is in all its glory. Is that a burnout? There's a chance of it being so. Anyway, need to get that off and get its replacement in. Well, my early enthusiasm is somewhat tempered by the annoyance that this doesn't fit properly. This cable length here, from here to the rubber seal, is longer, and also the rubber seal is bigger. Show you what I mean. So there's the original. For start, there's the rubber seal. Right, get my hand behind it. Let's focus. Yeah. So if I put the original in, this bit here locates in there, and then the cable sits nice into the channel, and there you go. And then there's a clamp that goes here and clamps it down. Nice and simple. I suppose this is the issue you have sometimes when you buy aftermarket parts, where they think they might be doing you a favour by cutting the cable longer, or they just don't have as good quality control and don't give a damn. But you can see here, I can't get that cable to sit flush unless this is all the way back here. I've now got to try and see if this rubber seal will slide on these three wires. Joyous. Right then, with a little bit of pushing, the rubber seal does move along the wires, which is good. So now all I need to do is clean all these faces, so and also on here, so that I can get the gasket in place. So that's the next job. Very sharp blade and very steady hand, and a bit of white spirit, I think. Well, there's the next half. It's taken me about 20 minutes or so. It's looking all right. There we go. Now I've got all this one to do. So let's see how long this one takes. Woohoo! So there it is, cleaned. Now I'm going to return back to my stator housing and get that clamped in place. This is going to be fun. I'm almost sure of it. So I've got the gasket on. Interesting thing, putting this back on, I'd forgotten it's all magnets. It snatched it out my hand damn fast. So be careful when putting this plate back on. But hey, you know, live and learn. Alright, so there's that, back in position. Just got to torque up the nuts, well, bolts I should say, and then move on to replacing the regulator. So to be able to get to that regulator nut, which is just down there, I'm having to take out the battery box. So a bit of a pain, but that's life, you know, it's a motorbike. There's not a lot of space on these things. You know, this rectifier is turning out to be a complete and absolute pig to get out. There's a bolt at the top here, and there's a bolt right down at the bottom on a right angle bracket that is an absolute arse to get to, because look, the bloody rear suspension's in the way. What a piss poor design. Do you know, it's such a good system that the bloody thread is stripped on the bolt at the bottom there. So I can't get the bugger out. I've got to now try and figure out how to cut a bracket. Oh, talk about pissing around. So I've now resorted to using a hacksaw blade to chop the head of the nut off. Or the bolt off, I should say. It's quite cramped space. I'm about halfway in after 20 minutes. Whoopie-doo. Woohoo! Got it out. What a piss poor design, I tell you. That's in a sleeve. And the sleeve has moved. It's not even biting into the framework now, so the bolt is just free to rotate. Oh well, hey ho, just use it as a locating pin now. Do you know, as an engineer, there's we have a fit or a measurement system where we make something a certain size and then we give it a tolerance, plus or minus half a mil, quarter of a mil or whatever. It seems that this bracket and this hole are actually sitting higher on this replacement part than on the original, because guess what, those hole centers are just enough out that this top hole doesn't line up with the receiving nut on the frame, so a bit more fettling. Of course, doing yourself means that you have to solve any problems or little missteps that happen along the way. Being able to give it to someone else to work on means you don't have the headache, you're just giving it away. Anyway, regulators in, stator's in. Now let's put the battery box back in. Well, there you go, battery in place. Wicked. Now I've got to find my multimeter, fire it up and make sure it's charging. Right, so you can just see that's 14 volts dead. Now if I switch on the bike and we'll see what the charging voltage is. Aha! 14.54 volts. We have proper charging of the battery. Sorted, I hope. And there we go, all back together. It's a bit late in the day to take it for a spin, just to try it out, but we'll see. Maybe a little later. I don't particularly want to be stranded anywhere, but I've got to give it a chance. So what I'll probably do is do some short trips first, just to build up a bit of confidence in it, and then see where we go. But yep, change the stator, change the rectifier, new battery. Hopefully all is good.